Okay guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bueli, and this is my second time filming this video because I am coming back to a place that I started this YouTube channel with, which is the artist's way. That is how I started this channel. Initially, this channel was supposed to be a secret. This channel was something that I did not promote. I did not share with anyone. It was a place where I could document my discovery and my transformations of myself and kind of go back to it to refer to things and remind myself of things and to just see where I am and where I was, things like that. I know that this is about to be an extremely beneficial moment to come back to the artist way for a second time, because the first time was extremely life-changing. And this book became like my Bible. It was insanely incredible what I've been able to do with this book. So a year and a half later, I am doing it again. And I am approaching it just as openly as I did before. This book, for those who don't know, The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron, is a self-help book meant to bring you back to a space of creativity and spirituality, right? It's called The Complete Artist's Way, Creativity as a Spiritual Practice. Right? A 12-week course. You read one chapter every single week. You do the tasks that she gives. You challenge yourself and you transform. That is what happens here in this book. So I read chapter 1 this week and I did all of the tasks, and you are to do a check-in with yourself. And I decided that just like last time, I'm going to do a check-in on video instead. And I'm going to share this publicly, and whoever decides that this is a space where they can learn as well, especially if you don't have the book, this is also for you. So let's get started. I'm going to read out the tasks that I had to do associated with chapter 1. So 1, I did a creativity contract. I did a contract with myself where I'm committing to the work of the course. I'm giving myself that gift. I'm saying yes by means of some small ceremony by getting a nice notebook, right? I got this notebook in Paris, I believe. I went to this cathedral, and the cathedral was beautiful. I had all types of stained glass and rococo and filigree and gold leaf. And as you can see, this book represents that as well. And so I got this book. The book was not being written in too much. I used to just casually journal in it, and I fell off when it came to journaling. And so I felt like it would be great to complete the journal, complete the book in this journal, because I was very intentional when I got this book, so I'm going to do something very intentional with the book. And because of its beauty, it is something that I can see myself going back to. It's like buying a guitar. You want to buy a pretty one so you can make sure that you always play it. You get what I mean? Okay, week 1, recovering a sense of safety. This week initiates your creative recovery. You may feel both giddy and defiant, hopeful and skeptical. The readings, tasks, and exercises aim at allowing you to establish a sense of safety, which will enable you to explore your creativity with less fear. That was chapter 1. She talks about something called the enemy within, our core negative beliefs. She also refers to them as blurts when our core negative beliefs comes up with like sentences that we may have heard from the past that divert us from our creative path. Right? So here's a list of commonly held negative beliefs. I can't be a successful, prolific creative artist because, and she inserts a list here. I highlighted some of the ones that I thought were applicable to me. So I can't be a successful, prolific artist because I will hurt my friends and family. I will abandon my friends and family. I don't have good enough ideas. I will have to be alone. I will do bad work and not know it and look like a fool. That's a big one. I will feel too angry. That's also a big one. I will never have any real money. That one's a fear for sure. My lover will leave me. For some reason, I always think that my lovers won't be able to handle and fully unlocked Bueli Najiri. I will feel bad because I don't deserve to be successful. That I actually don't believe in. Let me unhighlight that one. I don't believe that. No. I don't believe that. Anyways, it's too late, and if I haven't become a fully functioning artist yet, I never will. That's definitely one that I have thought of. So these negative core self-beliefs, I want to direct them to the ally within, with affirmative weapons. So all of those blurts, I will turn them into affirmations. That was one of the exercises that we did this week. Now, let's go over the tasks that she gave us. Every single morning, I'm supposed to set my clock a half hour early, get up and write 3 pages, longhand, stream of consciousness, morning writing. I'm not supposed to reread these pages, and I'm not supposed to show anybody these pages either. 7 days in a week, I should have 7 entries. I only have 5. The reason why is because one of the days I had to shoot for the podcast, for a podcast. I was the first episode of a podcast called Villain Origin Stories, and it was a very intense situation. I was up from 5 a.m. and I did not go back to sleep until the night. I also didn't really sleep the night before, all that stuff, so I didn't have time to journal. Then the other day that I didn't get to journal, I was tattooing day and night, and I couldn't get to it at nighttime because by the time I was done tattooing, my hand was fucking hurting and I didn't want to type. They said longhand. So yeah, I gave up on that day. I do not feel bad about it. My first week I did 5 days out of 7. I'm pretty sure this week I'll do 7 out of 7. Yeah. Next, take myself on an artist date. It's supposed to be something where I just explore my creativity alone and uninterrupted for at least like an hour or 2. My intention was to go out and do a self-timer and take pictures of myself and see if I can figure out some sort of creative thing by myself, you know what I'm saying? Just out there in the wild, you know what I'm saying? Just like on the road. I didn't do that either. There's something in me that's holding me from that. Yes, there's something about the artist date that is holding me back. Like there's something that I'm hesitant about that, but there's some fear in that. And in my subconscious mind, I feel like the reason why I'm worried about it is because I think that my partner is going to have a problem with me exploring myself. And that's because my previous partner always had a problem with me exploring myself and they like to isolate me or whatever. But now I have a new partner, so it doesn't make any sense why I'm putting that type of shit on him or that I think he's going to care. He's very protective of me, but he's not controlling of me, so I need to get rid of that. And yeah, but for some reason, I did not do the artist date because of that. Mind you, fully free to go ahead and do it right now. Yeah, so I didn't do the artist date. I want to do 2 this week. It's only an hour. I go outside every single day, 6 days a fucking week to go to the gym. There's more than enough time for me to go ahead and go by the pool or swim or do something nice for myself. Why am I so guilty about that? It doesn't have to look productive all the fucking time, Bueli. Just chill sometimes. Damn. All right. 2, 3, time travel. List 3 old enemies of your creative worth. Please be as specific as possible during this exercise. My historic monsters are building blocks of my core negative beliefs. Yes, rotten sister Ann Rita from the 5th grade does count, and the rotting thing she said to you does matter. Put her in there. This is your Monster Hall of Fame. More monsters will come to you as you work through recovery. It is always necessary to acknowledge creative injuries and grieve them. Otherwise, they become creative scar tissue and block your growth. This is my 3 ladies, old enemies. 1, my ex, Chantel. 2, my manager, my old manager, Jeff Blue. And 3, my grandmother, although I love that woman dearly. Hush. Come here. Number 4, we're going to continue the exercise. Select and write out 1 horror story from your Monster Hall of Fame. You do not need to write long or much, but do jot down whatever comes back to you. The room you were in, the way people looked at you, the way you felt, what your parents said or didn't say when you told them about it. Include whatever rankles you about the incident, and you might find it cathartic to draw a sketch of your old monster as well. In the tasks, I just like wrote about it really quickly, about like what happened and why I even put her in there. And then I just wrote like one example of it, you know, even though there's multiple examples of her behavior being and causing a creative injury. Okay, cool. Write a letter to the editor in your defense. This is task number 5. Mail it to yourself. It is great to write this letter in the voice of your wounded artist child, to whom it may concern. Sister Anrita, you're a jerk and has pig eyes, and I can too spell. That's what she said. Now, she wanted me to mail it to myself. I have been on a dramatic rampage this week. I feel the need to get rid of any shame around being a woman that is not the most pleasant and happy and all the stuff. I'd rather be an honest woman than be an acceptable one right now. That's how I feel right now. And maybe I'll feel another way later on. But right now, that's where I'm at. I did an interview, and the interview was very dramatic, and it revealed a lot of fucked up shit that happened to me, and people are mad that I even opened my fucking mouth out to talk about it, but it's out, and I'm proud of myself, and so I'm going to continue, because I feel like any fucking pieces of shame that I have need to get rid of right now so I can go ahead and make this music and be fantastic. That's how I feel. Anyways, dramatic rampage. And so I was supposed to write out this letter to my editor in my defense and mail it to myself. Instead, I mailed it to every single one of my clients. Like, I have a mail list with thousands of people in it, and I decided to write it, publish it on Substack, and send it to everyone. I might regret it later. I'm okay with that. Number 6, list 3 old champions of your creative self-worth. This is your hall of champions, those who wish you and your creativity well. Be specific. Every encouraging word counts, even if you disbelieve a compliment. Record it. It may well be true, right? My 3 creative champions. One of them was Amos. I named 4, actually. One of them was Amos from church in Pentab. I feel like I've mentioned this before multiple times if you watch this thing. He was one of my first believers in me, 100%. And people have believed in me before, but certain people impact you with their belief. He was one of them. He used to tell every single person in Pentab that I was going to be a superstar. And something about Amos that people don't know is that man is damn near a prophet. He has like spiritual gifts that I recall when I was younger. Things used to happen around that man. So like when somebody like that says something like that about you, it's impactful. And he was impactful. And he always tried to support me. Another one was my mother. My mother used to dress me up very weird. I used to wear super weird patterned stockings, and I used to hate them, and they were very itchy. And she used to always tell me that I need to stop trying to be like everybody else, and I need to be a trendsetter. And because of that, I kind of got the reps in from having people look at me with scrutiny and like all the types of stuff. I got the reps in, and I low-key thank her for that, because now I'm not afraid to dress how I want and be different in the crowd when it comes to that, because I was trained to do that as a child. It also helps that my mom and my grandma were seamstresses and made fantastic and unique clothing on a grand scale, like with weddings and things. The third person is Miss Ann Weiss. She was my 3rd grade teacher. She was obsessed with frogs, and she was super weird, and she taught me multiplication. I can't remember any of it now. But she used to dress up in school, every single subject. She would like run out of the room and put on like a chef hat and like a coat, and she would come in and she was like, I'm Miss Chef Frazione. And she would teach us fractions. And then she would run out again and she would put on like a trench coat and run back in. She's like, I'm Miss Grammy, and like taught us about grammar. And she would run out again and dress up and like be a scientist or something, teach us the next thing. And she loved lizards and frogs and all types of stuff. She was so cool, and she was so creative. And she was also my chorus teacher. And she used to also like just really encouraged my voice. She was fire. She was my 3rd grade teacher, and I think she was my 5th grade teacher too. Me and Jose, I think that was our first class together, and I think 5th grade was like one of our second or 3rd classes together or whatever. And it was really cool having him in there as well. I needed my family. Oh, and then the 4th person is Miss Bahari. She was my high school chorus teacher. I was in the vocal program, and she loved my voice. She gave me all of the soprano solos. Every single solo for the chorus that there had to be, I sang them all. Every single one of them. She appreciated me, and she encouraged my voice. And she was such a diva, and she was fire. Like, she was just, who is this woman? Like that. Like, when you have a woman that's as cool as that loving you, no one could tell you no one can tell you anything. And Miss Bahari was that for me. She is that girl. She's probably retired now, but she was fantastic. Miss Bahari from Dillard High School. Those are my creative champions. Select and write out one happy piece of encouragement. Write a thank you letter, mail it to yourself or the long lost mentor. Now, this was great. After all of this dramatic interview where I'm talking about the people who committed essay towards me, or like just the horrible people that were in my life that just 100% deserve so much punishment or whatever. I was just on a rampage, talking about the family members who was toxic, talking about the people who were toxic in my life, talking about all the things that they deserve to do, how I wish somebody would have gotten robbed or some shit. I was going in, I was going in, okay? And then after that, writing a letter about how my grandma did a creative injury when I was younger, and instead of keeping it private, sending it to all of my fucking clients. Then there's a lot of curse words in there too. I had to do something that was a little bit more loving. And I feel like there's shame around people when we love ourselves. When we have, if you are on social media and there is somebody who is a little bit insecure but doing it anyway, or maybe they're not the standard of beauty, or the standard weight of something, or they don't talk the best or something like that, and they do something, the encouragement of them is absolutely incredible. People support them because they don't feel intimidated by them. But the minute that you put somebody online that is confident in themselves, that loves themselves, at anything, people feel the need to tear them down. I do not care what anybody thinks. This is 100% true. This is the same reason why we look at little children and we're like, anything they do, we're like, yay! But then we look at adults doing amazing things and we try to critique them and whatever. It's the same thing. I'm not going to argue with anybody. This is my platform. So I'm one of those people who feel the need to stay extremely fucking humble, and I'm starting to feel irritated by it. I am a beautiful person. I'm a super smart person. I am a spiritually wonderful person, and I think I am an amazing specimen to look at. If I was God looking at myself, if I was able to separate that and I were to be a God that can peer down on the earth and find a specimen, I think that I would shine and stand out amongst the crowd. I do think that. I think that if I wasn't myself and I were to run into myself, if I were to run into myself at a bar or in a park or somewhere, I think I would fall in love with whoever the fuck Bueli is. I think that if I were to see me and hear me and experience me as a different person, I would fall in love and I would never let go of me. I would cherish me. I would spoil me. I would give myself the world. I would give myself the world. Because I think I'm that amazing. And it frustrates me all the time when people try to tear me down. And so I shrink myself down so that I can protect myself, so that people feel like I'm not an intimidating factor. I am 100% an intimidating factor, and it is okay. It is okay. I don't care to be safe anymore. It's not getting me anywhere. I should be howling when I sing. I should be belting when I sing. I should be running. When I run, I should be running as fast as possible. When I exercise, I shouldn't stop until my sweat is falling off my face. I should be doing everything with as much passion and intensity as possible. When I rest, I need to be knocked the hell out. I need to be snoring in that bitch. I need to have one foot up, looking like a roach, just sleep like, because I deserve that. I deserve it all. I deserve so much, man. I deserve so much. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I deserve to be taken care of. I deserve to be loved. I deserve to be cherished. I deserve to work hard for myself. I deserve to give it to myself. And I deserve to write a Substack about how beautiful I am and also send that to all of my clients. And that's exactly what I did. And it's titled Dear Bueli. And the other one is called Dear Grandma. You're not going to like this. Read it if you want. It's there for me. I don't lose anything from it. Whew. Next, imaginary lives. If you had 5 other lives to lead, what would you do in each one of them? I would be a pilot, a cowhand, a physicist, a psychic, a monk. You might be a scuba diver, a cop, a writer of children's books, a football player, a belly dancer, etc., etc., etc. Whatever occurs to you, jot it down. Do not overthink this exercise. The point of these lives is to have fun in them, more than the fun that you may be having in this one. Look over your list and select one, then do it this week. For instance, if you put down country singer, can you pick a guitar? If you dream of being a cowhand, I hope I'm saying that correctly, what about some horseback riding? Here's my list. 5 imaginary lives, 5 alternate lives. 1, a Tomb Raider, like Lara Croft, like Nathan Drake, Uncharted Tomb Raider. Somebody that goes and explores and discovers different tribes in the middle of the Amazon in a place that we've never discovered. I go to Antarctica and I find a creature that no one has ever seen before in their life, or I learn a language that has never been promoted before in the world, or a culture that no one's ever fucking seen, or a relic that has superpowers in it. Something. I climb the top of a mountain in China or something, and I go into a cave at the top of the mountain and I dive into some crazy like blue lagoon that's glowing or something, and I find a mermaid. Something like that. There are people living those types of lives, and I got to peek into it one time because my partner, for my birthday, knows that I'm just like an active bitch. And he took me to the Channel Islands and he took me into a kayak. And I got to dive into, like, kayak through like 10 different caves. Caves. Number 2, an actress. I would want it to be action, to be my typecast, and I'd want it to be someone like Angelina Jolie, who's just like, she too fine for this shit. She too fine, but she gotta pull the gun out and murk these niggas anyway. Some Colombiana Zoe Saldana shit. That's what I need, yeah. Or a horror movie where I'm like the killer, and I want it to be some sort of paranormal shit. Like, yeah. Anyways, 3, a supermodel. Naomi Campbell, Iman. Anoki High. You know? Yes. Runway. I've done it my whole life. I kill at that shit. I need to do it again. I need to find an agency this year. I lost 15 pounds for it. That is all. A visual artist. And I'm already doing that in this life, but a visual artist, like visual artist, period. Like a Kehinde Wiley or a Yayoi Kusama. Someone where they're known for their visual arts. They're like in something like the Louvre, respected in the Louvre, but I'm not dead. And my artistry is respected by my audience, so much so that I could drop a piece of shit on a piece of paper and it's gonna go for millions of dollars because it is made by Bueli Najiri. That's the type of visual artist I'm talking about. Yep. And lastly, a spy. Like if I was a spy for a different country, like you chose me to become a spy and be a honeypot in somewhere like Russia or Cuba or some shit, I'm gonna get that fucking information. And I don't want it to be in no shit that's like rinky dink either. I do not want to be in like the hood of Cuba. No, put me in the White House of somewhere and let me seduce the president. Yeah. And get the codes to some shit. Yeah. And then bring it back to my country after like 2 years. Because it didn't need 10. You feel me? That's what I would be. The one that I selected, the non-ridiculous one, supermodel. And I was going to attach it to my artist date, which was to go outside and take pictures and whatnot and do a self-timer, because I usually have my assistant do the pictures for me. But I told you why. So obviously I didn't do that today. All right, we're almost done. In working with affirmations and blurts, very often injuries and monsters swim back to us. Add these to your list as they occur to you. Work with each blurt individually. Turn each negative into an affirmative positive. All of these blurts came out, they filled up an entire page, and they were all pretty nonsensical. Some of them were just ridiculous. Other ones were deep core scars. Yeah, I turned them into affirmations. They aren't working yet. Number 10, take your artist for a walk, the two of you. A brisk 20-minute walk can dramatically alter consciousness. I didn't do that. Mind you, I get up like 6 days a week and go to the gym early in the morning, and I do a 30-minute walk every single fucking day on the treadmill. I could have easily taken my ass down the street and just walked. I didn't do it because I associated it with the artist date, and I associated it with some form of freedom that I did not think I deserved or some shit, and I associated it with like getting in trouble or something like that. So there was like a deep pit in my stomach that was just like, nah, you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't take a walk for 20 minutes and be inspired. I feel guilty singing in the shower with my partner around because I feel like my creativity is going to somewhat annoy him, upset him, or something. And I know that has nothing to do with him. It has to do with the people in my past, especially my fucking ex. I gotta go take that walk. I gotta walk today. All right. This is my check-in. Last question. Were there any other issues this week that you consider significant for your recovery? Describe them. Yes. Something that happened this week. I mentioned it before. I did the Villain Origin Story podcast. I was the pilot episode, and I talked about all of my fucking trauma on that episode. And I had shame within me about it. And I was angry that I had shame about it. And I was angry that I was even asked questions about it, because I thought that this interview was going to be about my work, like my quantum physics work, and it was not. It was not about my creativity. It was not about my work. It was not about the positive things that I put out into the world. It was about shit that happened to me. It was about the fact that I was sexually assaulted by one of my exes. It was about the fact that my cousin was brutally murdered. Brutally fucking murdered. And the impact that it happened on me, on my family. I talked about being sent to a fucking church camp because I was queer, and how my family treated me because I was fucking queer. I talked about my fucking stepfather being a fucking pedophile and that experience. I talked about so much different shit, and I didn't see any of that shit coming. It's like a 2-3 hour episode, dude. I was mad. And then throughout the week, I was mad and shameful and scared and nervous and all that shit because I have acquired like almost 200,000 fucking followers who pay attention to all of my shit, and now they're gonna know about this thing. But then also I started to realize that like my whole family has normalized shame and normalized not talking about fucked up shit. and not talking about shit that happens to us because we don't want to like blemish the family or come off as bad people by, again, not being the perfect victims, by complaining that something happened to us or outing somebody that something happened to us or whatever it doesn't even make any fucking sense. But I've been trained that way, and I've kept all of this shit secret for no reason, when I should have been yelling from the mountaintops the names of these people who did this shit to me. That changes today. I don't care how late it is, because since some of it is as late as last year, it is what it is. People really did feel like they were okay to do shit to me because nothing would have happened to them. I'm too nice. No. Everyone needs to know, if you do some shit to me, people are gonna find out. And maybe there'll be a consequence or two if I don't do it to you my fucking self. That's where I'm at now. And I've been very dramatic this entire week because of it. And I've argued with my family about the villain origin stories shit too, because I was trying to respect their boundaries, when the truth is I shouldn't respect nobody's boundaries, and I should just put the shit out there. But I was trying to respect my family, because I respect my fucking family and I love my family. Anyways, the episode is out now. The reception of the episode has been quite positive from my audience, almost too positive. These people are so like, that even the fucked up shit that I thought was funny at this point was not funny to these people. They're like, do you need a hug? And I'm like, I'm straight. Like, I'm actually fine. The only thing that this does affect is my music, and that drives me crazy. But as far as everything else, I tackle everything like it's nothing. The thing that I find the most important is my music, which is why it affects that. And that's the thing that drives me crazy. I'm successful in everything else, but my purpose is there. The studio behind me, if you haven't put that together. All right, well, yeah. That is week 1 of The Artist's Way. Week 2, I'm going to read today. It is August 11th, 2026. Week 2 is Recovering a Sense of Identity. This week addresses self-definition as a major component of creative recovery. You may find yourself drawing new boundaries and staking out new territories as your personal needs, desires, and interests announce themselves. The essays and tools are aimed at moving you into your personal identity, a self-defined you. That I'm kind of scared of. Why? Because things that I've identified myself with have later on become limiters. Anyways, if you want to grow with me and transform with me, get The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron, and we can go through this together. I'm only on week 1. It's not too late for you. I will be putting another video up next week, of course. We will be checking in again, and I'll be posting in between them too, because I've been on a lot of adventures, and I've been editing them for you guys. Make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you follow me on every other platform at Buelistic, and I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for summoning me. And until next time, bye.